Wholeness, beautiful beings. Welcome to Notes of Nara. My name is Naja Rashida, and today's topic, it's going to be a little bit heavy and maybe hard to hear, but here we go. So heart, we have discussions, or I have a discussion about this topic for the month of August. Okay, so we have, hey, guess what? Meeting your needs is a you problem. Ooh, kind of harsh, right? A lot of the psychobabble or therapists or counselors, when you go to a session and it's a family session or it's a marriage counselor, you go in to get help, right? You ask the person, hey, how can you help us navigate our issues and conflicts in our connection, or my connection with my family, my connection with my lover, my connection with my job and my employer, all the good things. And from what I've gathered and experienced in my life, you hear the word need a lot. Need. I need you to do this. Like, you remember when you're a kid and you're like a teenager and your parents, I need you to clean your room. I need you to finish your homework. I need you to do this. I need you to finish this, meet this deadline. I need you to do that. I need. I need you. There's a baby in the background. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. But when it comes to emotional needs, because here's the thing, we all need people to do things for us and they need us to do things for them. Okay, that's just the name of the game. It sucks, especially it can be a bit draining, right? I need you to finish this project, get this amount of product done, need you to finish this chapter by the end of the week, all this stuff. It's never ending. But when it comes to your emotional needs, that's the worst. I would say killer. It's a silent killer in connections with people. I need you to do better, be a better father. I need you to be a better lover. I need you to be a better friend. When we're not getting our emotional needs met, this is how I look at an emotional need. Okay? An emotional need to me is something unhealed, an unhealed wound within you that you haven't had the courage to address, identify, and alchemize yet. And you meet an individual, a friend, family, lover, and they're able to temporarily medicate, or it's medicinal. They're able to temporarily soothe what is unhealed in you. They're able to approach, this old sore that you have. And it makes you feel good. It makes you feel complete. It makes you feel recognized and understood. And, but then they have their own needs, right? And that need to be met. Whether they're making them or you're meeting their needs, or, someone else is meeting their emotional need, and they get tired. It's exhausting meeting someone else's emotional needs constantly on a consistent basis. And it can become almost, toxic in a way where it's codependent, right? Like you can't breathe or exist without the other there in your presence. You can't operate, you can't think, you can't live life, you can't make decisions for yourself without them there, because they're feeding. It's very parasitic, to be quite honest. It's very, very vampiric, very parasitic, and it hurts both parties, and it just really creates a bad taste for the whole connection. How does one become more sovereign so that you can meet your own emotional needs? First off, you have to create the space to get to know yourself. And I'm not saying divorce or break up or cut off all your family. Sometimes you have to do that. But, there are certain circumstances where you do have to make a drastic change. But that's not for everybody. It's a wide spectrum. Sometimes you need a week. Sometimes you need a day. Sometimes you need 10 days. Sometimes you need a few years, right? To be with yourself, by yourself, for yourself. And yes, so the way that you do this is just by getting to know you, by getting to be your own company. And sometimes, it's painful. Sometimes it's boring. Sometimes it's just blah and not very pretty and not very sexy and not very exciting or joyful, because you're getting to know other aspects and other hidden parts of yourself that would otherwise be submerged by an external distraction that can temporarily soothe your old sore, your old wound, an unhealed wound. Majority of many connections with other people survive this way. How do I know this? Because I've experienced it. Yes. I struggled with codependency. My first ever serious relationship, I did. I was codependent. I had a lot of unhealed wounds in me. And that's one thing, when you meet someone who can temporarily soothe these wounds, and it could be 1 year, for 2 years, 3 years, or even a whole marriage sometimes. And then that person is just like, I can't do it anymore. I can't meet this need for you anymore. I don't have anything for myself, or I need someone who can recognize their own completion and their own wholeness. And I'm with somebody that feels fragmented, and they leave. They cut out. And it's very painful, because then it's very parasitic, because now you don't have a host, right? You don't have someone to plug into. This is a very hard to hear, and it's a hard realization. But, I come to this realization through experience. You have to realize that your needs are yours. It is your sole responsibility to take care of your shit. It is your full sole responsibility to meet yourself. What does that look like? What does that mean? Oh, Naja Rashida, like what do you mean it's my full responsibility to take care of my own needs? My husband is here to meet my needs. My friend group is here. They're here to meet my needs. You're getting something twisted and confused here. Yes, you do need your cup filled in many different aspects. You can't just put all of yourself into a relationship, or all of yourself into a friendship group, or all of yourself into family connections. We fill our cups from many different things. But I'm talking about that space within yourself that's neglected because it's not pretty. It's boring. It's not exciting. It lacks joy. Right? We all know that part of ourselves very well, and we'll do anything to keep distracted from meeting it. Takes one to know one. It's uncomfortable. Doesn't feel good. How do we alchemize this now? Well, like I was mentioning before, creating the space to get to know yourself. Being honest. Being honest about yourself, with yourself, to yourself, by yourself. The willingness to call out your own bullcrap. The power that holds. Many people struggle with this because everybody wants to be told that they're good. that they have no issues, that they're attractive, that they're beautiful, that they are just so full of love and light. Everybody wants to hear that. And there's plenty of people, plenty of voices surround us, like surround sound, telling us all these beautiful things. But deep down, we know something's off. But as long as we are ciphered into the other person, right, or a group of people, right, and we're getting validation, oh, I'm good, I am beautiful, oh, and it feeds that unhealed wound, that sore spot in the heart. It temporarily feeds that space. And then you get upset. Why aren't you listening to me? Why don't I don't feel heard. You're not paying attention to me. I'm putting in more effort than you are. You know, look at what I sacrificed for you. Look at what I've left behind. Look at what all the things I'm doing for you, all the responsibilities. And I'm not getting my needs met in this relationship. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to break up. Or I'm going to make it a living hell for you. Right? That's that wounded inner child. Oh, here we go. Wounded inner child. The wounded inner child is your best friend. Your inner child is your best friend. Please, those are my neighbors. I live in an apartment complex, so it's full of life. So sorry about that. I apologize beforehand or after. Hold on. I got something for you. Sorry about the mess. To keep this real and authentic, boom. This is me. Like J-Lo's, this is me now. I'm sorry, I had to crack that joke. But yeah, this is me, c'est moi. I was little, like my little person. Now, imagine this is you. Okay? This is you. This is your heart. Every time you open yourself up to a new connection, she or he is feeling it. Every time you close yourself off from somebody, block yourself off. No, I don't want that. I don't want this friendship. I don't want this connection. I'm going to be antisocial. I don't want anything to do with anybody. You're doing that to her. You're doing that to him. This is very, very important. I keep this on my little altar all the time. People get so disconnected from their inner child. Your inner child literally is the king or queen of your energy, your emotional body. Your emotional body. You know, we have energy bodies, right? We have multiple energy bodies. The inner child is the ruler of that one. You get out of sync with your heart and you become so disconnected, you're not listening. And this little person, right? Because we overlook children all the time. They're unimportant, they're ignorant, they're annoying, you know, all the things. I'm talking metaphysically here. I'm talking about on a soul level. You ignore this, she or he will wreak havoc for you. They will wreak havoc. This is you. You can't run away from you. You can never run away from yourself, ever. Why do I keep getting the same work environment? Why do I keep getting the same relationships? Why do I keep getting in this? Why do I keep finding myself experiencing the same damn thing? Ho, 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 ho. Consciousness is something else. I love it. I love doing this type of work. It truly is quite fascinating. And also keep in mind your self-worth, right? That's a thing. Your self-esteem. That's a thing. Don't spend your life teaching people how to treat you. Allow people to treat you, okay, as they desire to. And then you need to use your discernment and your strength and your willpower to dip out if need be. Don't ever waste your time. This is how you need to talk to me. This is how you need. It's what you do and what you don't do. That's it. Keep it simple, keep it 100, and keep it moving, or keep them in your life if they are willing to see your value and honor your worth and your time and your energy and your the quality that you bring to their life, right? You should be an addition to their life, and they should be an addition to yours, not a subtraction. To put the amount of responsibility of making someone, whether it's your mom, because I know some people, some adults, they put a lot of pressure, a lot of pain, and project a lot of pressure and pain on their childhood and onto their parents for what their parents didn't do, right? You never met my emotional needs, so now this is why I'm an a-hole. You never met my emotional needs, this is why I don't trust anybody. Victimhood archetype, that's a victim archetype or archetype. I hear it clear as day, right? Very easy. I tell my parents, like, I don't blame my parents for anything. Why? Why? I'm a sovereign being. It is my full responsibility, and I am accountable to parent parts of her, to heal parts of her that they could not. It is not your mommy or daddy's issue anymore. It is yours now. If anything, release your parents of that burden and alchemize that pain and hurt yourself. But I must emphasize, whatever is done to you, your body, as a man, woman, or whoever, however you identify yourself, it's done to her. It's done to her. Also, keep in mind of the inner child of the other person. Should I say this? How should I say this? Most people that I've met in the past, romantically, were so disconnected from their inner child. And this is after I did a lot of work with myself. I got to know myself way more, that I eventually met her. I reconnected with her. So that made it that much easier for me to identify the inner child in another, right? Otherwise I'm not going to talk out of my butt. Like, I've experienced this because I put in the work to do so. So it made it that much easier for me to identify it. And I will say, it got to a point in my early adulthood where I began to see and tap into the wounds of the other. And it was so clear as day. Their block, the heart block. Their inner child would be, I would get visuals of them, just a little boy, sad little boy, just, or a child crying. Not so much with women, but mostly with men. I can see the pain in other children very, very easily as well. Very, very easily. Again, it takes one to know one. That's why I've worked with kids, I just got gravitated towards that because I can see and identify, especially troubled ones. But yeah, it's you have to take accountability for your own emotional needs, man. Hire a therapist, hire a spiritual teacher, a spiritual guide, if you need. If you really feel like you need someone to hold your hand, because sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need someone to hold your hand for a couple of months, and maybe hopefully not too long, but you need someone to just be a mentor. Mentorship is very, very important to me anyway. Find someone that's almost double or triple your age, and for young people out there, will double your age. Find someone who's double your age, and they'll be able to pinpoint certain things because they've lived through enough life cycles and seasons to identify certain patterns that you can't see where you're at in the present moment, that you bypass because it's too painful or it's too uncomfortable. But for goodness sake, don't make this someone else's responsibility. Meet your own emotional needs. Identify what, and those needs are usually wounds and what's unhealed. So yeah, meeting your needs is a you issue. It's not a them issue. I just feel so lonely. I don't know who to talk to. And it's like, okay, where's this loneliness coming from? Because sometimes, and I'm going to say this as a side note, it is the other person. Like sometimes it is. That's also very, very true. And I don't want to completely isolate you here. I'm saying, sometimes something changes in them and they're not reciprocating. They're not just meeting you, where you were or where you're headed. They just kind of like just either they become stagnant or they go backwards or they go a completely different direction. It happens, right? But emotional needs, it's tricky. You got to be real careful with that, because if you can't, and look, meeting your emotional needs is really tied to finding your joy, what brings you joy. Because when you tune into joy, the frequency of joy, people come and go. You're just like, it is what it is. You're like, okay, I'll, have a good day, have a good life, have a good night. Like there's joy is a liberation of, like, you're liberated from burden. You're liberated from the outcome. You're just like, it is what it is. I'm here. I'm present. I'm in the now. It is, I'm free. When you're able to find fulfillment in that way, joy can meet your needs. But we always did this together. We always did that. We always did that. And now I feel like I'm just alone. I'm just, by myself. It's almost like when you have that one partner, like, and I've been in enough, long-term relationships where, someone's giving, and you're both giving. That's amazing. It's reciprocated love. It's like going back and forth, and it's just this beautiful dance. And the rhythm changes a little bit, and it's from tango, to breakdancing. And so both of you guys are just like breakdancing together, right? And then it's ballet. It turns into ballet. But then something happens where someone's doing tap and the other one's doing river dance. And it's a little like, okay, like it's still relatable, but it's like, what's happening? And then someone stops dancing. So, you have to find your own rhythm and be in flow with the rhythms around you simultaneously. You really, that's the best example I can give. Find your rhythms, because you're going to have not just one rhythm, but your rhythms. Find your rhythms within yourself. And then whatever comes your way, enjoy their music. Dance and flow with it. Maybe create a whole new song together. And for whatever reason, if someone trips, someone stops dancing, the music changes, the music stops. Be in flow. I'm like, hold on. I got my own rhythm. Like another example would be like, you're at a wedding or a club. Okay. Just around, good loving energy, and you're having fun, and then someone's like, they're dancing and you don't know them, they're a complete stranger, and they dance up to you because, they're confident and they make their way, and you're just like, but you just go with it, and then sometimes that person was just like, thank you for the dance, and they keep moving on. And then you move on too. And it's just, that's how it's got to be. You know, it's got to be that way. Meeting your emotional needs at first will be challenging. Working through this myself right now. Like, really, it's not something that I'm not an expert at, but I will say awareness is amazing. Once you become aware of yourself, wow, that's the biggest step anyone could have. Then you slowly begin to identify, and then you can alchemize. And when you alchemize, things don't get to you as much because you're like, oh, I know what this is. I know this. I know this song. I know this beat. Let's go. You know? And it's just, it's all about simplicity. Don't overcomplicate it. But for damn sure, don't make someone your emotional, like, need God. Like, it's just so parasitic and unhealthy. It truly is. Emotional vulnerability and emotional connection those are completely different things. But to have someone meet that need, what are you gonna do when they don't? Become bitter and resentful, and then in turn hurt them and wound them, and then wound the overall connection because they're not meeting your need? That's unfair. That's unfair. You know, like, don't do that. Don't be that person. Yeah, if you're like, hey, I noticed that, you know, this and this isn't happening and it's making me feel this way. Express your concerns. Communicate. Don't keep it all in. But if you're noticing a pattern, then you got to do that's when you really have to do you. Like, don't stop doing you ever. Always, always, always make sure that you have, the rhythms to your own songs, that you don't become a stranger to yourself. Be on the good side of this. Link up. Lock in, as the kids say. Lock in, okay? Lock in with your inner child. Lock in with your inner child. I will say that for sure. She got a lot to teach you. Because once she knows that you have her back, I'm not saying you'll never feel lonely again, but you get a note, call mom or dad or some relative, and and I'm not just talking about digital either. Get a hard copy of yourself. Look at that big forehead. Oh my God. Look at that. Big doughy eyes. Look. Yeah. She's me and I am her. We're in this journey together. We don't just grow up and then she disappears. That's what the burden of life does. That it makes you adulting, it makes you forget. But then you remember yourself to her, you remember yourself to him. Get on the good side. Otherwise, life is hard. Way harder than what it needs to be. Way more complicated than it needs to be. Way more dramatic than it needs to be. Just too much. And I'm all about simplicity. Yeah, you guys see my little messy stuff. I'm actually planning on a really big move. So, I'm like, oh, we thought you were a minimalist. I am. I gotta go through stuff and sell things and prepare things, and it's a really big one. It's a really big move. That'll be for another time though. But yeah. And honor her, honor him. This is your worth, self-worth, self-esteem, your values and principles. Don't forget that. Don't jeopardize that. Don't let someone treat you like anything less. No. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a picture of this and I'm going to put it as like a screensaver on my phone. And no, not like not in a way where people were like, gosh, that's a picture of you. Wow, how no, it's for it's more of for spiritual, medicinal purposes, as a reminder to not forget my heart, to not forget my values, to not lower my worth, to not lower my boundaries or standards for anything or anyone. Very important. So may this message find you well and whole. Leave comments below. Let me know what you all think and feel and about what I'm saying. I know this was a bit harsh because, yeah, you want people to meet your needs. It feels good. Ew, gosh, it feels almost euphoric, like it's a drug, It's like, oh, gosh, I feel so much better being around you, they say. Right? Oh, you just liven up the place. Right? You make me feel this way, It's like it could be kind of tricky, right? Because genuinely, you're around that person because they love you, you love them. But when it comes to your unhealed parts of yourself, you got to take responsibility. You can't run away from that. So thank you so much. May this message find you well and whole. I probably already said that. Have a fabulous day, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.